Welcome to Conversations. It was a day of tragedy for Bharat at the Dubai Air Show. I'm talking of the Tejas crash, one that shook India's air power dreams. I'm Suresh Kochatan and welcome to Conversations. Before I get into the story, I would request you to share this video, subscribe to my channel, and of course, put in your comments. It will help us improve the presentation and the content. Let me get into the story. The moment that literally froze the sky. It was a bright Friday afternoon in Dubai. The sky above the Al Maktoum International Airport was perfectly blue, dotted with aircraft from around the world performing breathtaking stunts. The crowd had gathered for one of the most prestigious global aviation stages, the Dubai Air Show. Cameras were up, eyes were fixed on the sky, and the anticipation was a build. Among the sleek metallic birds waiting to soar was India's pride, the Tejas Mk-1 fighter jet, a symbol of decades of engineering effort and commitment to self-reliance and hope for the future of Indian air power. Inside the cockpit sat Wing Commander Naman Syal, a seasoned fighter pilot of the Indian Air Force. Hands steadily on the controls, and he wasn't just flying an aircraft, he was representing a nation. At 2:10 p.m. local time, the Tejas roared into the sky, and for the first few minutes, everything was perfect. The jet cut across the sky with precision, rolls, climbs, and sharp turns, drawing cheers from the crowd. Spectators saw the aircraft dancing fearlessly in the air, pushing the limits of performance. And then, in a heartbeat, everything changed. The Tejas entered into a low-altitude aerobatic maneuver, a negative G turn as it's called in the Air Force, something that only the most skilled fighter pilots attempt during live demonstrations. It's a maneuver where the aircraft dives while pushing down for the downward forces onto the pilot, and forces that can even disorient the human body in seconds. But this time, something went terribly wrong. The jet failed to recover, and the aircraft plummeted rapidly towards the ground. And before the stunned crowd could comprehend what was happening, the Tejas struck the runway and exploded into a massive ball of fire, an orange and black cloud rising violently into the sky. There was no ejection, no parachute, no second chance. Inside the cockpit, Wing Commander Naman Syal lost his life. The applause froze, gas filled the arena, silence followed. India's dream jet had just crashed on an international stage. The news spread across Bharat within minutes. What was meant to be a proud display of engineering excellence instantly transformed into a national tragedy. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh expressed deep anguish, calling Wing Commander Syal a brave and courageous officer who made the ultimate sacrifice. Messages poured in from retired officers, pilots, engineers, and ordinary citizens, shaken by the loss. For Tejas project, already under scrutiny for delays, production challenges, and export ambitions, the optics could not have come at a worse time. Critics questioned the reliability, supporters warned against hasty conclusions, and aviation world watched closely. A code of inquiry was immediately ordered by the Indian Air Force. Investigators had begun coordinating with the Dubai authorities to retrieve the black box, hoping to understand the exact chain of events that took place. Was it a sudden loss of engine power? Was it a control malfunction? Or was it a spatial disorientation caused by negative G forces? A veteran Indian Air Force pilot, speaking anonymously, summed it up quietly. It's impossible to say right now. At that altitude, and at that maneuver, even a fraction of a second decides life or death. The man behind the mission, of course, as we know, Wing Commander Naman Syal, was an experienced pilot. Behind every aircraft is a human being. And Wing Commander Sial wasn't just a pilot. He was part of a proud lineage of men and women who live life inches from the edge, knowing the risk every time they step into the cockpit. He had thousands of flying hours. He had trained younger pilots. He had flown multiple aircraft types. He had made it to elite aerobatic demonstrations, something only a handful can ever achieve. Wing Commander Sial understood better than anyone what pushing a jet to its limits really meant. He died doing what he loved most, flying. And that is the most painful part of military aviation. Heroes fall not just in war, but also in practice, training, and even demonstration. For Tejas, it's a journey of hope and struggle. The tragedy hit harder because Tejas was not just another aircraft. It is a symbol of India's quest for technological independence. The 13.5-ton lightweight multi-fighter, role fighter, Tejas has been in decades in the making. From funding cuts to redesigns and changing requirements to global skepticism, the journey for Tejas has been long and unforgiving. Yet despite all the challenges, the aircraft entered and earned the respect. Since the first squadron, called the 45 Flying Daggers, was raised in July 2016, the Tejas has maintained an excellent safety record. Only one crash has ever been reported. That was in March 2023 near Jaisalmer. And in that case, the pilot had ejected safely. There were countless successful deployments, multiple global demonstrations, flying displays in Singapore, Malaysia, Bahrain, and now Dubai, winning applause for its maneuverability and agility. India proudly advertised Tejas as a world's world-class fourth-generation fighter ready for export. Negotiations with countries like Argentina, Egypt, and the Philippines were ongoing. The Dubai Air Show was meant to be another step in that direction. 3 aircraft were flown in from India, 2 from the number 45 Flying Daggers, and 1 from the 18 Flying Bullets. Instead, it became a scene of a disaster. But we need not lose hope, because air crashes are frequent, as we know. So far, the Indian Air Force has inducted 38 Tejas Mk-1 fighters out of the first order of 40 placed way back in 2006 and 10 for about rupees 8,802 crore. Another massive order has followed for 180 Tejas Mk-1 aircraft worth over 1.1 lakh crore. 97 more jets contracted in September this year in a 66,500 crore deal. Yet, delivery of the improved Mk-1A version has been delayed due to various issues, including engine supply problems from US, especially from GE, incomplete weapons integration trials, including the Astra Beyond Visual Range missile, the ASRAM Short Range missile, the laser-guided precision bombs, and the Israeli ELTA radar integration. All these are issues. The dream is big, the stakes are even bigger, and now every question weighs heavier. The bigger picture and the cost of flying is obviously there. Military aviation pushes limits, mechanical and human. When you fly at high speed, inverted, at low altitude, doing combat maneuvers, inches of the ground, the margin for error is a microscopic one. A tiny malfunction, a half-second delay, and a miscalculation of force, and everything is lost. Unlike commercial flying, fighter jets are built for war, not for comfort. They operate at extreme temperatures, pressure, and the speed, constantly flirting with physics. The truth is painful, but real. Every air force in the world loses aircraft and pilots, even in peace times. The US loses F-16 and F-35s regularly. Russia, China, and Europe face similar tragedies. Training kills more pilots than war. And yet, the world keeps flying. Because without these men and women, there is no freedom, there is no security, and of course, there will be no nation. Yet, the Dubai crash is a setback. Yes, it haunts India's global projection. Yes, its questions need to be answered. But a single tragedy does not erase decades of achievement. Bharat will learn. Engineers will study every second of the recorded telemetry from the black box. Pilots will train harder. Designs will improve. Systems will evolve. And Tejas will fly again. Because the legacy of a fallen pilot demands that. And of course, as we close the story today, let us take a moment, not for machines, not for geopolitics, not for the headlines, but for the man who sat inside the doomed cockpit. Wing Commander Naman Stial, Indian Air Force, son, husband, friend, warrior. He gave his life wearing the uniform. His sacrifice must not be in vain. India owes him more than tears. We owe him progress. Thank you for watching. If you're joining us from India or from anywhere around the world, leave your thoughts below in the comments. Should India continue aggressively with the Tejas program? Do you believe this was a tragic anomaly or a wake-up call? Until next time, Jai Hind. Stay safe, stay informed.